So, Chipper Wichman, you got Limahuli Gardens and National Tropical Botanical Garden, and you live out here. This is like a giant reset. Do you have any assessment of like how we can move forward a little bit stronger? How can we learn from the flood?
Well, first of all, I think the flood, like many disasters, also creates opportunity.
Right.
It's like that Chinese character, which means danger and opportunity. Same character, right? So here we are, worst unbelievable flood. Anybody alive, my dad's 93, he's never seen anything like this. And today we drove out, residents only. We're down at KA. There was one person on the beach. I have not seen that since I was a kid 50, 60 years ago. So how do we reset this? Well, one of the things we've been talking about actually for a couple of years leading up to this is trying to create a residents only parking in Haena. And the county always said, well, we don't have the data set, how do we manage that? Who are the residents? Well, guess what? In the last 48 hours, we have actually captured all that data. That little sticker on the front of our car means we signed up, we got our license number, our registration, our names, all of that. So the county now knows who the residents of Haena are. And by having resident-only access for the next 4 or 5 months as they rebuild the road, gives us a chance to really look at how do we manage it when the road gets reopened. For me, one of the big drivers of all that traffic is Haena State Park and the Pali Coast. We're getting 2,000 to 3,000 people a day. So I've been deeply involved working with the state actually for over 20 years to try and create a management plan and a master plan for Haena State Park, which is the gateway to Napali, that sets it at an appropriate number. And we have worked through that for years with the community. We have a plan that's almost ready to be approved. And because of this disaster, the state DLNR, Division of State Parks, is going to expedite that. We are going to get it on the BLNR agenda for May 25th.
Wow.
So that's 2 weeks, 3 weeks away, right? Today I think is the 5th. So that's exciting. Once that's approved, we have a legal mechanism to actually manage the park down to 900 people a day. And we've worked through the mechanism of allowing for residents to have free access, and visitors are required to make reservations. And we can utilize this opportunity to actually drive people towards the shuttle. So it's going to, because if all we do is the master plan implementation, it's going to push the illegal parking. Haena is going to become a parking lot. The side of Kuhio Highway will be a parking lot.
And Hanalei too.
And Hanalei, it's the whole, we just can't deal with 1.3 million visitors a year with a 2-lane road and the small infrastructure that we have. And I'm not proposing bigger infrastructure. So I'm a strong advocate for keeping our historic highway and our bridges and the rural character of our community. So the combination of the master plan being enacted, managing the park and that destination to 900 people a day, having a very limited parking area. So for most visitors, in order to get down there, they need to take a shuttle. So this is the opportunity for us to finally implement the North Shore Shuttle that we've been talking about for over 20 years also. So, I believe out of this disaster can come some really incredible things. And the fact that the state has allocated $100 million for disaster relief on Kauai means we actually have some funding, appropriate funding, to make repairs that are appropriate to what we want our community to be like in the future. So I'm actually really excited. I think this is really a blessing. The Aina has been crying out, and Mother Earth is not happy with us. And so look at what she did. She took matters into her own hand. Now it's time for us to listen. That was one of the lessons I learned growing up from our kupono, is listen to the Aina. The Aina can teach you some amazing things.
And we've had amazing help from our community and the government, right? Like just seeing how the community has really come out to help each other.
Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, our government, the people that I've known for years, have really reached out to me and said, how can we help in this disaster in a way that's appropriate for the community? And that's a difficult thing. Who is community? How do we define community? We have multiple communities. But I think it's great that they're asking that question and trying to be sensitive to what those residents that live out here really want. I think, I was on the phone with Alan Carpenter, who's really in state parks, really one of the second most important people there, right under Kurt Cottrell. And Alan said, he said an amazing thing on the phone call with him the other day. He goes, I think this is the first time for many people in Haena in their entire life. So think about people that have, younger than I, that have grown up, never seen the road so uncrowded. This is the first time they'll ever be able to go to KA and go swimming. Actually find a parking space and go swimming. We were just down there. There was one car. And it was like when I was, 10 years old, back in the 60s, 50s and 60s. So it's a really amazing opportunity.
I want to just acknowledge you that you won the Medal of Honor, the Gold Medal of Honor from the Garden Club of America. Yeah. Can you tell us why you got that?
It was really a lifetime recognition award for all that I've done, not only in Hawaii, but in terms of national and international work. And I think probably the thing that really pushed it over the edge for them was bringing the World Conservation Congress to Hawaii in 2016. Yeah. 10,400 delegates from 192 countries. And in the 70-year history of IUCN, which is really the world, except America, looks to IUCN as a global conservation leader, and their red list is what defines endangered species globally. In the 70-year history of IUCN, it had never been allowed into the United States for political reasons. So we overcame that hurdle, and we brought it here, and it was the best attended, most powerful environmental meeting in the history of the world. It's phenomenal.
Well, congratulations. This is really, really impressive, and what you've done for Limahuli and the world. And the other side with the National Tropical Botanical Gardens has been great. So we love you, and thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Well, thanks for stopping by our house today to say hi.
Yeah.
Great to see you both.
Okay.
Aloha.
Aloha.